Okay, so I'm assuming that we cannot do it that way.
There we go. Am I live? Let me clear my throat. I'm Unique, and this is another episode of Let Me Clear My Throat. I figured I would come and go live a little bit to answer just a few questions on that was placed from the last Let Me Clear My Throat moment. And Let Me Clear My Throat this time is about me. And you can say to yourself, it's about me, addressing yourself, bringing things that old school would sweep under the rug to the surface, questioning those things because we always have a lot of questions, but we refuse to face them. And I'm here so we can face our truth. Remember, throat stands for truthfully healing repetitive obstacles, avoiding truth. And we don't want to avoid anything. We want to address it. And one of the questions I should say that I was asked is, Unique, well, how old do you think one should be before they have a child? Because like I said in a previous video, was you prepared for what came with you having a child? Was you prepared for it mentally, physically, spiritually? Was you prepared for that thing? Because a lot of times things happen in life and we're not necessarily prepared for it. So then we try to adapt as much as we can with the ability that we have that's before us. And sometimes that's just not easy. So the truth is, I'm not going to put an age limit or when I say you should and you shouldn't, because the reality is I got two different generations, y'all. I got two different generations. So with that being said, it's a lot I learned the second go round that I didn't quite understand the first go round. And that's a lot of that is spiritually understanding what your body going through, spiritually understanding what you're going through, spiritually taking out time with your gifts that God has given you, because children are gifts, and spiritually understanding what that gift means, what role that child's supposed to play. You know, old school would tell you stay in a child's place. I don't quite agree with that, because you don't know why God gave you that child. For example, my oldest child, he was very good with directions. He was very good at knowing his location. And to only add to the flames, I didn't have no sense of direction. So it's a lot of times him at even 7, 8 years old will be like, Mama, you need to go this way. Mama, you need to go do this. And I was never a parent to, you need to stay in a child's place. So I took heed to the gift. I had learned very, very early on that was my gift. He was considered my roadmap. He was the one that was going to help me and keep me from getting lost, you know. So with that being said, I thank God for that gift. I thank God for an opportunity to just to embrace him at that time. And did I understand what was going on? No, not at 19. And then I turned around and had another kid at 21. Was I ready? A lot of times we think we're ready for things because of different trials and tribulations that maybe you had as you was growing up. So when these things come abrupt, you feel you're going to be better. You ever seen a young lady that go off and have a child and then she don't care for the child? I don't believe it's necessarily that she don't care for that child. I believe it was more of analyzing yourself, looking into yourself. Was I ready for that child? You know, was it childbearing time for me? And you, like I was asked on what is a good age. It's not a such thing as a good age. I feel like you need to take our time and get to know you. And a lot of times we don't know ourselves before we start to produce and to bring someone into the world, before we even know who we are, before we even understand who we are in spirit and in truth. Okay, if I be truthful. And with that, it takes a lot of analyzation of oneself. It takes a lot of sitting with yourself. And a lot of times we don't even have time to do that, especially if you're 19, you just getting out of high school, you just doing these things, you just being embraced in life, and then boom, here go a child. You don't know who you are. That child come in, and now here go a amount of confusion that you entering in, because where you're learning, this child is trying to grow. This child is trying to grow. And not saying you can't teach them anything. You got a lot that's in you, but you only got 19 years worth. And in those 19 years, were you taught? Did someone take our time to ask you, who are you? And see, that's where a lot of us be when we have kids abruptly, when we having kids before time. We don't even know who we are to take our time to even try to raise something or raise someone to be the best who they are when we haven't even became our best self yet. You know what I mean? That's when I feel you should learn to take our time and love on yourself. Take our time and ask yourself, especially for those of you that haven't buried any kids yet, take our time and ask yourself, what is it I want to break? What is it I want to stop that's in my bloodline that I don't want to pass over to my children? These questions need to be addressed head on. These questions need to be addressed up front. That way you can make sure you getting rid of things out of you before you start allowing someone else to come pass through your womb. Because once they pass through your womb, then you have to deal with it out loud. And a lot of times we're not ready for that at all, okay? And it's just being real. And then I had another kid at 19. I had one at 19, one at 21. And now that I became an adult and we adulting up, I wish I would have took my time. Okay, I wish I would have took my time. I wish I would have paused for a moment and did a lot of healing, because as my kids was growing older, after I had them, I started learning to heal myself, learning what healing looked like, learning what I didn't want to see repeated, learning what was in me that I hid, but it showed up in my kid. Yes, something that I hid showed up in my kid. And it brought me to be real with myself. It taught me to be real with myself, because the reality is it was some things that I didn't want to face. It was some things that I didn't want to talk about. It was some things that I failed to mention. And the minute it showed up in my child, it caused me, because I like to work with spirit and in truth, it caused me to have to face that thing, y'all. It caused me to have to take out time and talk to my kids about hurtful situations, about things that I didn't feel like I wanted to talk about. And that's when you know you're not quite healed yet. That's when you know, hey, if it's things in your life going on while you 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, even 20 or 21, that you still kind of shy about talking about, shy about healing from, then you're not ready. You're not ready. You got to fix those areas first. Get counseling. See, in our community, we taught, oh, we don't need to talk. We just got to strengthen up and endure. That's not true, y'all. It's good to sit down and talk with somebody about what's going on in your heart, because the heart really is a matter. It is. It's a matter. And if you don't fix what's going on in your heart, it's tainting your soul. So listen to that. It's tainting your soul when you don't fix what's going on in your heart. Okay? And once it starts to taint your soul and you choose to go have a child, what you think finna happen? What you think finna happen? Yeah, we want God to work miracles, but the miracle gonna come through you. The Bible tells you faith without works is dead. You want God to work a miracle, but God is trying to teach you how to face things head on. You want God to work a miracle, but God is trying to teach you to take out time to understand you. Okay, you want God to work a miracle, but you don't want to do your part. That's not how that works, y'all. You got to do your part. Faith without works is dead. God can't work nothing without you. So when God starts to bring these issues up, you have to address those issues full on. And you have to be honest with yourself. Was I ready to have that kid? Was I ready to take on that responsibility? Was I not just financially ready? Was you spiritually ready? Was you mentally ready? Because having a child takes a whole nother toll on you. Now, what about the questions that child might have? Was you prepared for that? What about that father of that child? Was that child father going to be present? That plays a major part on how you carry yourself in that relationship with that child, because that child needs both parents. That child needs both of y'all to sign up and show up. You can't just sign up, but you got to show up as well. Show up when that child is down. Show up when that child is needing something. Show up when that child is maybe going through. Show up when that child is sick. And a lot of times it's one-sided parenting and it's not even healthy for the child. But was you ready for that? Was you prepared for that? Now we being truthful over here. Remember, we trying to heal through truth. Was you ready? And if we be truthful, we wasn't ready. We wasn't ready. We was thrown into the mix of something that now we got to adult up, even though we're still kids, even though we're still teens. Okay, we got to adult up. It's never, what they say, is never a right time, or it's never this and never that. It is when you take out time and heal yourself. When you take our time and address those issues, when you take our time and talk about those things, therefore, when that child starts to grow up and you start to have to face things that you thought was hidden on the inside of you, but it come out of your child, it blows your mind because you like, I never told anybody that. I keep telling y'all, the spirit world is the real world. You don't have to say a thing. It's going to come out of your child. It's going to come out of your child because that's what's truly in you. And most of the time, it's going to always be those areas you don't want to deal with. It's going to always be those broken areas. It's going to always be those areas you feel like, I'm just not going to talk about that. I'm not going to tell my child I was molested. Why not? I'm not going to tell my child that I was taken advantage of. I'm not going to tell my child that I was raped. I'm not going to tell my child those things that happened to me. Why not? Why not? Because the reality is you're not healing yet. You didn't heal yourself yet before you even had that child. Now this child is experiencing things and wondering where it's coming from. And when you understand that the spirit world is the real world, that means you also have a clear understanding is nothing is just happening. Nothing is just happening. It's a reason behind everything. It's a reason behind the things you facing. A lot of times I face issues that I feel my mother and my father never talked about. And I face issues trying to deal with those things from a one-time experience because I'm truly trying to break generational curses and nobody ever talked about it in my family. So now it's like, Unique, so what are you going to do? Either I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to put it on the table for my children and get them a better understanding, or we're going to keep hurting each other. Or we're going to keep going through life broken. And a lot of times we have to realize it's peace in our release. God can only give you peace when you release those things out. When you talk about those things, it gets things out of your throat so you can better help somebody, so you can better help that child grow and become who that child wants to be. But if you're not dealing with these things because y'all didn't, you know how the old school, they sweep everything under the rug, and now you continually sweeping things under the rug, and now it continues to be a generational curse. So when I was asked the question, when do I feel it's a good time? It's a good time when you decide to address you. That's when it's a good time. It's a good time when you stop lying to yourself. It's a good time when you take those things that's happening in the house and you put them on the table and talk about it. If you haven't addressed those family issues, why Uncle Buck like this? Why was I touched by this person? Why was this person molesting me? Why didn't nobody tell me to stay this far? Because I always felt like when things happen to me, why wasn't I warned? The Bible even tell you warning come before destruction. If you warn somebody, they'll have a better aspect on how to look at something. But we can't warn our kids about things we hiding. We can't warn our kids about things we lying about. I keep telling you, we lie the loudest when we lie to ourselves. If you're not going to bring it out, then the kid can't walk it out. If you're not going to be honest, it's okay to tell your kid, I really didn't care for school. You got these kids don't want to go to school, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. And you like, I know I felt that way. Why is that kid feeling this way? Because you never expressed it. You never expressed it. Even when a kid having an identity crisis, have you expressed that? Have you expressed sometimes I'm insecure? Sometimes I don't know who I am. Have you expressed that with your kids so your kid can better understand how to handle those things? I keep telling my kids, y'all not shy. My child would say, I'm shy, mama, I'm just shy. No, you're not. You're dealing with something that your mama dealt with that she didn't put on the table to address. And you got to work on that inner child, because a lot of times that inner child will hold you up from being an adult. Have you ever met an adult that you can clearly see that's a kid? I'm talking about you can clearly see they childish. And here you are with a baby, but you won't even take care of yourself. Here you are with a baby when you won't even handle your business. Here you are with a baby when you don't even know the responsibility of going to work. Here you are with a baby and you don't even know how to hustle. Because when you have a baby, it's all about hustle now, baby, because it's not about you no more. You got another life that you have to perform for. You have another life that you have to stand up with. It's not about you no more. And here it is, you got a baby and you still selfish. Because you never dealt with your inner child. You never healed that inner child. You never went to that inner child and say, hey, Dad heard it when I was molested. You never dealt with it. You never let your child see you cry about it. They need to see that, y'all. They need to see it so that they can heal, y'all. You got to give them a stable foundation. You have to be honest with them. You have to be truthful with them. Yes, this happened. Yes, that happened. But it stops with me. You have to let them know it stopped with me. I'm not allowing that no more. So when those issues arise, y'all address them head on. You don't hide your feelings from your kids. I don't hide nothing from my kids. And some people might say, oh, Unique, you overly share. You don't know why God put that child in your life. To give you a better understanding of who you are, because you chose to hide. You chose to deny who you are. You don't understand. You got to unlock those gifts on the inside of them. You have to show them that God is real. You have to show them that if you can be real, God can heal. We all want to heal, but we don't want to talk about it. It just don't work like that. It don't. It don't work like that. You ever had a real good cry? You ever had a real good release? You see how much peace you find when you release? Y'all better come on in here and talk about it. Y'all better let them kids know that some of these family members are predators. Y'all better let them know I didn't get touched first by a stranger. It was a family member. Y'all better be truthful up in here. These kids need to know that so they can be aware of their surroundings. So you can teach them how to discern when they're in atmospheres. You can teach them how to open up their spiritual intuition. So when God is speaking to them, they're not thinking they're crazy. When they say, don't go over here, don't do this. Parents are spending too much time covering things up and end up with broken adults. You cover it up and wonder why your child is broken. You cover it up and wonder why that your child is going through these situations when you yourself know in your heart you didn't deal with it. You know in your heart you didn't deal with it. You know in your heart, I didn't address that. It's nothing wrong with sitting telling your kids, this is what happened to me. Why is people so crazy in their mind to think it's okay to deny what happened to them? It's not. We have to heal. We keep raising broken people because we refuse to heal. We refuse to be truthful. Truthfully healing repetitive obstacles that's avoiding truth. You will never get the full fulfillment of life lying to yourself. You will never get fulfillment. You will never understand the true path that God wants to take you on lying to yourself. Lying about how you feel about it. Lying about how it makes you uncomfortable. I know your mama might not want to hear it. I know your daddy wanted to sweep it under the rug, but they need to hear you. They need to hear your heart because it hurts. And they always say, hurt people, hurt people. I challenge that. Unhealed people hurts people. When you're unhealed, you will constantly bleed on other people. But yet we get caught up into religion and synagogues, and we sweep everything under the rug. Even in the church house, they sweep it under the rug. They see you doing something when you walk out and deny it when you're standing in the pulpit. The devil is a liar. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You need to stop going through and grow. Grow, be honest. Release that stuff so you can release high blood pressure. Release clogged arteries. It really is peace in your release. I'm never ashamed about what happened to me. I tell my kids all the time, it was never my fault. And ain't no person in this world gonna make me believe otherwise. It's not your fault because you was around a predator. It's not your fault because you was raped by someone. It's not your fault because you got caught up in generational curses because nobody addressed it. Everybody swept it under the rug. So then once it started happening to you, you looking at who am I supposed to tell? Or you went to your mama, they didn't believe you. Went to your daddy, he didn't understand it. It's not your fault that your school teacher put their hands on you inappropriately. That's not your fault. But when you hold it in, you take fault for it. When you hold it in, you take ownership of it. Release that mess. It's a message in your mess. Release it. And then learn how to guard your heart. That way you can break generational curses. That way you can break these cycles, these unhealthy cycles. I just wanted to take a moment and drop some jewels on what it means to let me clear my throat. And once again, I'm still on me. You can point to yourself and say, she talking to me. I'm still on me. Leave some comments. Leave some truth. I got a couple of comments. I'm gonna read them the next time I'm live, but I'm also gonna keep dropping these jewels for the next 30-some days, and we're gonna keep it going because we got to learn it's peace in our release. It's okay to not be okay. Okay, that's what a unique touch is all about. That's what we're here for. If you need us, let us know. Reach out. Don't be ashamed, y'all. Man, being ashamed is a game. Being ashamed is a game because if you a real parent, you will be real honest and admit it for real that some of that stuff that you call yourself being ashamed of is coming out of your children. I never forget I was mentoring a woman and coaching this lady, and she said, I always wanted to be a stripper, Unique. I always wanted to be a stripper. I don't know why. I just thought all the time, I thought it would be a cool job. It would be something I wanted to do. It was always in my heart. It was always a desire. She never did it. But guess who started doing it? Her child. Her child started doing it. And she like, oh my God. I said, well, girl, were you embarrassed? She said, yes. Why? Why was you embarrassed? You know why you embarrassed? Because you lied to yourself. You felt like if I strip, I would be less than a woman. If I strip, I would be embarrassed. If I strip, I would have shamed my parents. But guess what? It came out of her child, y'all. It came out of her child. It came out of her child. And guess what that child was? That child was far from embarrassed. That child didn't care who seen her strip. She was stripping in front of the mama, stripping in front of the grandma. She didn't care. She respected them, but it came out of her. And I told her, it's time for you to find peace in your release. Tell your child, I once wanted to do that. And then tell her why you didn't. Tell the truth, y'all. I know truth is not popular. I know truth is not real for these days and times that we're living in. But tell the truth, y'all. Our kids are suffering because we wasn't being honest with ourselves. Our kids are suffering because we refuse to tell them, hey, I wasn't ready when I had you. I love my kids, and I'm always honest with my children. I'm always taking out time, giving them pieces of the truth of me. Letting them know mama was molested, baby. I didn't understand when men wanted to touch me without my permission. I didn't understand that. Because nobody ever sat me down and told me their truth. Nobody ever sat me down. Everything was swept under the rug. Nobody ever said this is really what happened to them. But understanding in spirit and in truth, ain't nothing just happening. You didn't grow up just thinking I'm finna start stealing. Somebody before you was stealing. You didn't just start thinking I'm going to be a predator. Somebody before you was a predator. Ain't nothing just happening. I'm unique. And like I always say, enjoy your day. My baby say, Mama, you forgetting to tell them to enjoy their day. Enjoy your day on purpose. It's peace. If you don't remember nothing else, remember today, I'm telling you, it's peace in your release. Let me clear my throat. I'm Unique. Have a blessed day.